this is what the result is. Multifunction space, high level desk, low level desk. Thanks. Technology. Lighting isn't great in parts, but it's now, I think, one of the most used spaces for events in the library, definitely, and even on campus. So I'll just flick this way. Okay, so the title for this came yesterday. It had been a collaboration title, and we changed it to Pedagogy, Technology and Space. So I wanted to find out anyway what collaboration was. So I found this, and I thought it kind of made sense to what we do in buildings and estates. So it's a cooperative arrangement in which two or more parties, which may or may not have any previous relationships, work jointly. So we work every day with people we've never met before. They tell us, look, we want to change the space, we want to renovate the space, we want to improve how people use the space. And I suppose part of that is we need to know how they teach, and we need to follow on with our knowledge on how to change the space. So I found this as well, knowledge management. So it's no point us making a room or inventing a space if we don't know how it's going to be used. So that's the important part of what we're doing with the teaching and learning group and audiovisual IT services. So quick overview, Creative Zone. I'm going to do a quick slide on Digital Humanities Lab in the Food Science. There's Delight in Innovation Zone in the O'Reilly building. That was College of Business and Law, BIS department. And then there's the School of Bees fourth year hub. These are all pre-2016 projects, so I just wanted to give a quick run on those four. The Digital Humanities was designed by there's a team of 4 in our project design team. So there's 2 services coordinators and there's 2 architecture draftspersons. So Paul Williams was involved in this. Multifunction space, collaboration, there's technology, where we have casting from the screen, so you can cast onto your device onto the screen. You can have you can move all the furniture, which is vital. You can have different layouts, and you have different types of computers. There's Apple and there's PC, and it's working really well. You can have different disciplines, different first years, second years, third years working beside each other, and it's a very successful space. And that was Mike Cosgrave and Orla Murphy in Digital Humanities, who we collaborated on that. Another space in the O'Reilly building, and that was Delight. Actually came up with that idea. We helped them on the delivery of the project that was designed just for the use of business students. That's in the basement of the O'Reilly building. There was another one then, which was to try and get all fourth year disciplines in Bs to collaborate together, and that's, I was talking to John O'Halloran earlier, he was down there this morning, that's working well. You have marine biology, environmental sciences and animal plant sciences students all collaborating in one space. It was an old lab that wasn't being used, and it just changed around, which is working well. So this is the map from last year. So there's a Health Innovation Hub in the Western Gateway building here on the far west, Digital Humanities, Library in the O'Reilly building, and then that's Cooperage. So it just shows you the spread of these spaces. So then the call out came that John spoke about earlier, and that was exciting because it meant teaching and learning got people to reinvent their spaces, to think about changing the spaces that they were working in. And it was exciting for us because it was like pre-qualification, so once they came to us we were ready to engage straight away, and we knew that it was a runner, so we had met people outside of the 9 that qualified, and there was some really exciting stuff there that hopefully we can deliver in the next few years, But I suppose what this call out managed for us is that the 3 parts of the circle had to work. The buildings and estates, the AV, Wi-Fi and the teaching part. and we had to try and find that intersection in the middle, you know, which would give the best result really. So we all had our own agendas, but the whole goal is to get that spot in the middle where people can learn, you know, and enjoy their learning and progress and move it on. So there's 7 here. There was 2. There were very minor components. We did audiovisual, did some upgrades, and that was in O'Reilly building, and another one in William Thompson House. So William Thompson House is hopefully being refurbed next year, so we didn't invest too much in that. So there was 3 Boo library projects. There's the library studio, there's the assistive technology quiet room, and the meeting pod upstairs. So as you can see, the library is diversifying into other spaces. It's kindly, you know, providing opportunity for learning, teaching and learning in different ways. So it's been, you know, it's great working with the library and the people working in the library. So I'll just snap through a few of these. That's the one-touch recording that Tom was talking about, so that'll be opening very shortly. We're just almost there, getting it ready. That was great to work with. I mean, it was an old office space, and now it is one-touch recording. That's the green screen at the back, and students and staff will be able to book time on it, and looking forward to seeing what happens with that. Of course, there is a clause in the teaching and learning call-out that you have to come back and evaluate how your space is working. I just spotted that over the last couple of days. So that'll be interesting down the line, you know, see how these things are working. Okay, so that's, you've seen some of these slides from John already. The quiet room for quieter study and comfort, adjustable. There's a couple of those laptop tables that are adjustable, and some are set. So that was a facility with desktops, and we just ripped them out and brought in this just in one section of the room, so just allows for more flexible learning. This will be used for mainly disability sports services. Not sure how this is going to be booked. Linda in the assistive technology will have more details on how this space will be used and who will be booking it outside of hours and things like that. But it's really good. You should all have a look at it. It's just above us here. Nice space to work in. School of Education, Stephen O'Brien and Vanessa Rutherford came to us with a proposal to change the ground floor of 3 Fernhurst on Donovan's Road. So I tried to make that picture as bad as I could there on the left. Just turned down the colour and stuff, but it was a wreck. No, we invested as much as we could. We probably will be investing money in this building again, refurbishing. So we're conscious not to put stuff in that would have to be ripped out again in a year or 2 time. So took out the carpet tile, brought the floor back, and to be honest, the room isn't big enough to take a good shot. This is the same building. It's a small, so I couldn't get any panoramic shots. But again, it's flexible, cafe type. There's a big, massive adjustable screen that you can move around that's fully accessible as well, just behind us. This one isn't finished either. You can see the old seating there, so there's chairs due here. This is out in the dental hospital. The idea here is to have different spaces again. There's multiple screens, so that the photo doesn't do it justice, because there's a lot more to go in there. It's just progress. So the Holla in Dunkevaughan, I couldn't do any photos in that font. Sorry about that there, Garen. Pressing the button for a long time, it didn't work. So there's another 5 weeks left in that project, so it should be great. Looking forward to that, and looking forward to a weekend down there, hopefully, Kieran. But transforming that space, it was computer lab again, and now it'll be much more flexible technology, hoping to get Wi-Fi down there, proper system, and you know, somewhere inviting and more conducive to active learning, you know. So next one is this one. It was by the Students' Union, their proposal. Hasn't started yet, it's at design stage. Should have a little video here. I have to go to this one. So hopefully this will go ahead. We need to go for a fire cert for this proposal because it's in an open plan area, but this is just a little sketch we have done up. Now we can't have too much flexible seating here because you're in an open plan area. You don't want seats to end up in the corridor for fire, so we're hoping for these two boot type systems with different layered seating on the outside, so we're hoping that that will go ahead maybe in the coming months. So they are the 9 projects, and hopefully I'll be able to get back into this. Here we go. Now, okay, so as you can see, the map has advanced. So all the blue are the deliverables this year. So you can see things have spread out a bit. Like Doon Vaughan is actually down in Kerry, by the way, Ballyferriter. Dental School is out in CUH. So you can see the, I suppose, teaching areas that are being enhanced and the spread, and hopefully, you know, we can develop on this. And you know, we're not claiming that each of these spaces does the same thing or is completely next generation, but it's a change from just buying 20 seats, laying them out, buying 20 tables and laying them out. It's just, you know, meeting teachers and saying, look, can we do something better here, and something, you know, that will change the way people learn. So next I'll ask Mark up maybe to join the discussion and maybe have an overview on the capital project side, you know.
Thanks, Michael, and thanks for taking people through those good examples of things that have been changing. And also, Stephen, his fantastic presentation is kind of no, it's not around. It's fantastic to you know, to get that sense of it, because I think this whole area is evolving, and it's something that I've been involved in the capital development program here for the last longer than I care to remember, 15, 20 years, and things have changed significantly over that period. I remember the first discussion that we had on the Bioscience Institute, where you're looking at bringing together researchers from various areas of the university together, and the big discussion was on how do we get the researchers out of their labs to meet with their colleagues in a cognitive discipline, to see can they collide off each other, can they have space where they can do collaborative research, that they won't be sort of, let's say, pigeonholed in their own area. So that was kind of a small awakening for me as to, you know, how this thing is going to evolve and change over the years, and it has been changing. And I suppose we're kind of delighted to be involved because we need that direction. We need direction of the end users, the teachers, the architectural teams, the likes of Michael, the architects that we commission to design spaces, and it becomes that collaborative effort of everybody to come up with the right range and size, shape, feel of spaces that can contribute to how student learning happens in a most positive way. So the Teaching Learning Spaces group, chaired by John, with Tom and all the colleagues that are here, is really important for us, because we need that direction. It's quite a lonely place when you're you know, trying to get something designed where you don't have that direction, and it's really kind of, so what we did before, let's repeat what we did before. That doesn't work. You have to really kind of be thinking what the current needs are, what the future needs are, and to make sure that we're constantly evolving in terms of the space that we provide. I suppose, you know, in all of those kind of capital projects, you know, these types of spaces are all over the campus, and these are the places, I think, where a lot of the informal learning is happening, and so they all have a role to play. And I think a lot of the buildings that we've developed in the last number of years all have aspects of these types of spaces. I suppose our job now is to make these, as Stephen said, a bit more seductive, maybe, and a bit more you know, tuned in. I'm going to just mention just 2 or 3 projects that are actually under construction or near construction, just as a matter of kind of interest in terms of things that are coming together in the near term. And the 3 projects are very different. The Student Hub is very much about informal learning, student services. So here is just a section through the building, and again it's kind of looking at the kind of space that are going to be in that building, which are going to be providing different sorts of experiences and spaces in which learning will be able to happen. So you can see even the connection to the outside. I mean, that's important that, you know, external spaces are available as well, and maybe could be scheduled, or could be, when you look at, let's say, the likes of the student, the Hone Square, for example, we spent days and days and days thinking about how could this space be actually used. And I remember it was open about 3 or 4 weeks, and I walked past it, and what was happening there was nothing like anything that we'd ever thought about could happen. So I think if you kind of offer up spaces and keep them flexible and open, and then people will take those spaces and do what they want with them. I think that's a kind of a sign of a good design, that possibility is there. So the hub will have a number of kind of spaces. I think what's really important is we're looking at, there's an area called the Market Hall, which will be on the ground floor. This will be kind of an open plan collaborative space, again with the possibilities for multifunctional use. But off that, even in the more formal teaching spaces, top left hand corner there, you'll see there's kind of demonstration rooms, so that people who are in that space will actually be able to see what's happening within the classroom. So they can say, well, actually, maybe as a teacher or a lecturer, I've come along, I've seen something happening inside in that room done by one of my colleagues. It's something that maybe I can repeat when I go back to my own teaching.
Sorry, Mark. Who comes up with, okay, we want X amount of teaching space in this building? Like, what happens at the planning?
I suppose
stage,
at the briefing stage, there's a kind of a sense that we wanted this building to have a number of things going on there. We just didn't want it to be a kind of a student services building. We wanted to have a mix of things. So there's 5 different zones in the building, each with a kind of a particular emphasis. One of those is the teaching and learning zone, because we felt that teaching and learning was critical to this building, that students need to be in there, want to be in there, and that they're not just transacting services in there, but that their day-to-day academic activity experience is happening within the building. So the building has a number of kind of collision spaces. We've got our room in which we're calling steps, which is kind of a tiered room, which again can be a bit more flexible, a bit more informal. Small little group areas where a group of 2, 3, 4, 5 students can informally just get together, a bit like happens here, and work on their collaborative project. So there's a lot of kind of spaces in the building which will have that fundamental flexibility to be able to respond to needs, but also maybe inspire people in terms of what might happen in their own academic areas. So that building is going to be very exciting, I think, and hopefully in early 2019 we'll be in there using the space for it, importantly. And it's different building. Again, this is kind of a slightly different focus now, because it's really more of an undergraduate teaching postgraduate building, where there's more formal studio type work going on in school for School of Architecture, and they're moving from a building, a leased building downtown, into a new building that's currently under construction in South Pres. And I think Sarah's here, but a lot of the colleagues that we've been working with in architecture, again, are bringing to bear a lot of kind of emphasis on this building in terms of flexibility, how crits are done, how students are learning differently to maybe how they would have learned in the past, and we're hoping that the building will be able to respond positively to all their needs. So it's a slightly different kind of an emphasis. And then this is another type of building, which is the Laps Key, which is for the business school, and it's very much focused on executive education, which again is a different kind of a need. So here you're looking at more kind of banquet style seating, smaller group teaching areas, lots of breakout spaces, the importance of catering to support that, and people learning from each other in kind of exciting spaces. And then you've got a small number of kind of smaller teaching spaces, and then you've got the larger old banking hall, which provides that degree of flexibility to be able to go and do things informally as you wish as part of that teaching experience. So again, we're kind of excited that that's going to offer us something that maybe we don't currently experience on campus. Just a couple of other small points. We have a master plan. The university has its academic strategic plan, and we have a physical development strategy which kind of backs that up. And we're going to commission Tim Cronin's office here with us. Tim is a colleague of mine in the Capital Projects office, and we'll be commissioning consultants to come in and update our master plan. And if you look at our old master plan, which is only kind of 2004, I think it is, but there's no section particularly on teaching spaces. Whereas I think next time around, there's going to have to be a major emphasis on teaching spaces, how they're evolving, how we're using our space, and I think that's something that we'll be looking for the input from the Teaching and Learning Committee. I just put this up at the end just to kind of, I suppose, just to kind of maybe throw a bit of a challenge, because if you look at this as a total space of the university broken down into the various segments of space that we operate in, and you can see that the classroom space is only something like 7%, or certainly less than 10% of the space. And our laboratories between them, 20%, so there's 80% of the space which is kind of used for academic offices, the library, and all the other restaurants, all that kind of stuff. And I think we probably need to reflect about how each of those segments on the pie chart can contribute to the overall teaching experience, not just the kind of a narrow focus on formal teaching spaces, that all these spaces have presented an opportunity. So hopefully, when we do our master plan, we'll reflect on some of those things.
By the way, the non-assignable is
Kind of
corridors,
breakout
toilet blocks,
spaces,
stuff like that.
toilets,
It's
yeah.
not that it's just a big black hole.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
Thanks,
that's it,
Michael, for that. We're happy to take any questions or contribute to it.